I don't know if this is going to work, but I'm going to try to make an old spool and see how I can do with it. I have 2 jar lids, and I got this first. This is hard cardboard out in the middle of a tin foil or something. Actually, that was probably my sealing bags. I got that out of. But I also have just a plain piece of wood dowel here. Well, it was a spindle that I've used part of it. Anyways, I think I'm going to use the wooden one. And I've drawn 2 circles for my lids. And I'm going to try to glue them together and paint them to where they look like metal. And put them on this and then decorate it. Anyways, that's my idea. I've kind of run out of stuff. It's too hot to go cut any wood in the garage, so I guess you can say I'm kind of playing. Alright, what I'm going to do from here, I've glued this one on there, and I did use hot glue. You want to make sure that edges are trimmed. But I started out with the super glue fix-all adhesive I get from Dollar Tree, and I'll go around and put some of that on in spots around there because the hot glue won't be as permanent. I'll try to get right to the very edge, because you don't have much of a lip on your lid. Okay. Put the lid on this, if I can find it. There it is. I'm pretty sure the hot glue is dry now. And then I don't really want any of the cardboard showing. So, trimming it off good. That's probably right there is where I got the other kind of glue. I have to clean up my scissors. Okay. Now, I am going to set these aside and let them dry before I work on it anymore, because after that I'm going to paint them. But let's see if I can get that painted up right. It will be cute. That's what I'm working on. Just playing, seeing what I can do. And I've decided, because I don't want my cardboard really showing, so I've got some of this spackling that you get from Dollar Tree also. And I'm going around the edges, trying to fill in the little gap, just so it doesn't show. Smoothing it down. You wouldn't have to do this, but it'll bother me if the edge of the cardboard's showing. I decided I had a candle that I had waxed up and grungy, and I wanted it on top, so before I paint this, I need to fix a holder for this candle. So I just took some cardboard and marked it where I wanted it. And I'll just cut it off there. Get that cut right fast. And then from there, I should have had my heat or my glue gun on. I forgot that. Anyways, I will take and roll this around like that. I'm going to need a little bit of room to cut with, so about right there. I need to cut it off. And I'll use part glue gun or glue stick and part of the super glue. I'll use a glue stick on this right here to make that. And I think I cut it a little too short. Yes, I did. But anyways, I'll cut another one because I've got to wait for my glue stick to heat up. But I'll do that, and I'll put some glue. Use my glue gun and put that there, and then use the glue gun and the super glue, and I'll put it up here and let that dry before I paint it, so that I can paint that with it, and I'll have a slot to put my candle down in. It's just all kind of junk that I had laying around, except for the candle. All right, now this is all dry, and I'm just using some, for the base coat, it's Apple Barrel Pavement. And I'm just going to paint both of my lids this color, and then I think I'm going to go back over it and cover it with the silver Rub and Buff. I'll probably give it 2 coats of this. And when I get to the bottom, I'll leave an area not painted, so this will have better grip to stay glued. But that's what I'm doing now, just painting both lids. Well, I thought I was recording. I thought I had hit record, and obviously I didn't because I couldn't find the video. So I'll just show you. I just put some Rub and Buff on the lids, and then when it dries, I'll put it all together. Well, it dried, but I decided I don't like the bright silver, so I went back over it with some black Rub and Buff, and it really looks like a pewter metal. It really does. So I got this one to do now, and I did that one with my finger, and I like to never got all that off my finger. My fingers work better, but I just don't like trying to scrub it off. But this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go over it to make it look like that one. And then I'm going to glue it together. Glue my post on. And then see how I'm going to decorate it some. Okay, I glued my spool all together with the top and the bottom, and I'm setting it aside to dry. I just used the Fix-All adhesive I bought from the Dollar Tree. I use this a lot, and I won't mess with it till it's totally ready to go. And in the meantime, I got like a little 3-inch grapevine, and I had bought a garland to craft with, but I put it in a basket in my living room, and every so often, if I need it, I'll go in and snip a little bit off from it, and you can't even tell. So I get to craft with it and have it for decor also. I'm going to finish putting this all the way around on the wreath, and when that dries, I'll put it on there and see what else I want to do to it. Okay, here's what I decided to go with. I just put the little wreath on there and tied a homespun bow on it, and as you notice, I used a different candle. I used one of the little votives that I had rusted up instead of the tall one, and the little candle holder is still there. It just raises the votive up some and where you can see it better, and if I want to switch it into the votive, I can. Well, I got this at the thrift store the other day. It's a wood round, and I got it for 50 cents, and I got it in my last thrift shop haul, and I forgot to show it. Oh, and there was one other thing I forgot to show. Let me grab it right fast. I got this. This one I think was $1. No, it was 50 cents too. But it's actually a picture, made to do for a picture. It has the hanger there, and as you can see, the wood comes out where you can put something on it. And that was well worth 50 cents for that blank piece of wood to work with. Okay, so anyways, I'll put this down, get back to the round. I took this out and sanded it, and now there is a hole in the middle. So I am going to use this spackling that I get from the Dollar Tree and fill in that hole. And I have several ideas to put on that, but I'm not really sure yet. But the spackling has to be put in there and let dry anyway. And while that's going on, I'll figure out what I'm going to do with it. Well, I think I know what I want to do with the round. And I want a stencil. I want a green sack stencil. So I went in Silhouette Studio and I made one up. And I normally use my Cameo 3 for everything. But on my 4 will cut stencil film a lot better. So I'm going to use that and cut out my green sack. And I thought I'd show you. That's my 12 by 24 mat. So that's the little simple stencil I've made. And I bought my stencil material off of Amazon. It's a 12 by 24 inch. And I've made a few stencils, and I like being able to make my own. I should have sped it up since it was straight lines. Wouldn't have taken so long. But it's a cutting it. Alright, here's my plan with the round. I'm going to paint the top of the round the Apple Barrel Country Tan, which I have here getting ready to paint. And then the bottom part will be in black. And then I made a green sack stencil for right up in here. And then I have another stencil made that has welcome on it. And I'll make a bow and hang it up here. So I'm going to start painting the Country Tan. Well, I have my tan color and my black done. So now I'm going to put my welcome on there. Okay. Now I'm going to put this on there, and then I'm using Waverly plaster and a makeup sponge to put it on. Let's see if I can get that off now. It is what it is. Okay. I'm going to make sure it's down on there good so I don't get any bleeding. And I'm going to start putting it on. Okay, I have that pulled up and that all touched up. Now I'm going to do the lines, and I will have to be careful with this because this is not as down as well as I could get the vinyl. But I'm going to finish this up and pull it off, and I'll be back. Okay, now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take and I'm going to drill a hole probably here and here so I can take this string and run it up and tie a knot on each side for a hanger. And then I'm going to take it and seal it with some probably some spray. The 2 times clear, and I'll use probably the matte. And then I have a bow that I've made that I'm going to put on it. And once I get all that done, it'll be finished. This is my next project, and it's another piece that I got at the thrift store at the same time that I got the round. And the round was 50 cents, and this was 50 cents also. So what I'm going to do with it is I've printed this here image out on rice paper. And I was going over trying to figure out what I was going to do with the frame. And I was testing different colors, and I just decided I'm going to go, and the first coat's going to be the Waverly Plaster, and I'm going to put the crackle medium on it and go over it with the black. And I think a crackle finish with this picture would work better than any color I can really find. I didn't want it just straight plain black. So that's my thoughts on doing the frame, and I'll take the image and I'll Mod Podge it down to the board that goes into the frame. So I'm going to start giving this the first coat of the, or a coat of the plaster, and this a coat of the plaster, and then from there I'll move on. I have 2 coats on that, and now I'm going to give this one probably just 1 coat because it's going to be covered with the image. Okay, I have my Mod Podge out, and I have this placed where I want it, so I'm going to start at the top with my Mod Podge and work my way down. And this is rice paper, so it's a little thicker. Now go down this way. Make sure I get it on the edges good. Wished I had something to rub it with, but I don't, other than my hand. Now, let's see, I got a little piece of paper here, or paper towel. Come straight down with it, work it out. I did cut just a little bit. This fit really well on the frame on this. I cut just that much off the bottom here. Now I'm going to go over the top of it with Mod Podge. Filling a bubble right there. That's okay. Bubbles don't bother me. I mean, they would if there was a lot of them. And I'm going to finish this off. Then I'll get my frame and I'll put my, I don't know what I'm going to use for crackle medium yet. I'm going to have to look. I don't know if I use glue. Colors are kind of running. Quit going over it so much. Okay, I want to make sure it's coated everywhere. All right, and I'm going to set that aside and let it dry. Well, my frame is dry, or the Waverly plaster color is dry. And I'm going to try using this Folk Art Crackle medium that I got the other day at the thrift store. This is an 8-ounce container. I got it for $1. I'm going to try it and see if it works. It says to put a coat on it and let it dry for an hour. Not to use in humid conditions. That might be a problem because we are humid. Hopefully in the house it's okay though. The thicker the coat, the larger the crackle. So I'm just going to put a coat on this all the way around and then let it dry for an hour. It's all dry now. And I wanted to use my Waverly ink, which is black, but obviously I'm out of it. It just had a little tiny bit in it, and I was afraid it wouldn't be enough to finish it, so I'm just going to use this black that I got at Hobby Lobby. It usually does pretty well. And this is where I can't keep going over it, so I don't know really where to start. Ooh, I got a big blotch there. Me and Crackling don't get along. Gotta go around the curve. Ooh, I went over that. I have to get down on this side. Down on this side. I'm going to go on this side next. Straight down. There, I'm just going to leave it because it's already crackling. And I got a big bunch. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Well, I messed that up. And I don't know how to fix it. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. Leave it alone. I think it would have worked real well had I not. I should have just left that one right there. Looking at my sides. I got a blotch there, but I'm not going to touch it. Totally missed a piece there. I'll just dab that. Okay, I'm just going to leave it and let it dry and see how that right in there turns out. But it is crackling. And that was the, what was it, the crackle medium folk art that I got for $1 at the thrift store. It's working. It's just hard to not want, you just cannot keep swiping. Now while my frame's drying, I think I'm going to go around the edges of my picture with using some Jolie Top Coat Black. I'll rub that in there good so it gets good and even. Just around, I think, on the edges, and I'll wipe it back some. Okay, got a piece of t-shirt I've cut up. Don't you fall off of there, brush. It's kind of blended in. Okay. Take some where I already took some off and kind of all right, I like the way that looks. Not really liking my frame, but it's still a little wet. I don't know. I'm not digging it. I wonder if after this gets good and dry, if I couldn't take some of my brown and kind of go in over it and let the brown go into the cracks. But I'm gonna wait till this is good and dry before I even try it. But so far, that's what it's looking like. And I'm also wondering, I don't know, after I get it finished, I have this bow. Of course, I cut the bottoms off a little more. If I shouldn't, I don't know what it'd look like with a bow on it. I don't know. I'll leave it off and I'll post the video and see what y'all think. Leave me a comment whether I should leave the bow on or off, because I can always add it. And I won't need this till the middle of August anyways. So I'll have plenty of time to add it if I feel like I need to. Okay, I'm going to let that dry, and then I'm probably going to go over this with some of the Jolie brown top coat on the frame. My frame is dry, the crackle part of it, so I am going over in some of the Jolie brown top coat. I like that better than the stark white. I think it just warms it up, tones it down some. Anyways, I'm going to finish going over this and then wipe it back just a little bit. I really like it with the brown. It turns the white crackle under there kind of a tan, which kind of matches the picture. I'm going to continue on with this. Well, I have it finished and put together, and this is the way it turned out. I'm not real sure I like the crackle frame, but I'll leave it that way, and if it doesn't sell, then I'll come back and do something else with it. I don't know. So I appreciate each and every one of you that have subscribed or watched or liked or commented. Until the next one, guys, we'll see you later.